So, hey YouTube, it's a glorious day out here. Wow, that helicopter and that plane's flying really close to each other. And so, yeah, I'm just here to do another walk and talk. So, welcome back to my channel. So, in my last video, I was talking about self-doubt, right? And I got to thinking, and I'm like, why do we suffer with self-doubt so much? Like, where does this even come from? And it dawned on me that the one who's always trying to put us back in the box and tell us about ourselves and tell us that we ain't no good and God don't love us and God ain't got a plan for us and our lives mean nothing and blah, 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 blah. I realized that, like just how you get bullies, right? People who bully other people. And the reason why they bully other people is because they see something in the other person that intimidates them. And then they're basically giving them a rhetoric of how their own story. So, they try to reject people and make them feel like they've been rejected because they feel rejected and all kinds of stuff. And I got to thinking, I was like, ain't that just the enemy right there? Like when you read the Bible, it's hilarious, right? The Bible is hilarious. If you didn't know the Bible's hilarious, you should read it sometime. The Bible's hilarious. And if it weren't for the fact that the Bible was true, it would be probably one of the most craziest books ever written, right? But it's just like the enemy to go around and tell us that we're no good and that God has no plans for us or whatever, and that we don't stand a chance of ever being accepted by him. Sorry, crossing the road. We don't stand a chance of ever being accepted by him, and we have to do all these things for him to want us and like us. And in truth, when you check it, that's Satan's story. That's Satan's story. He's the one that was in the presence of God. He had access to God, and he messed up big time with no chance of forgiveness, right? And then he tries to make out that his story is our story. It's like, bro, your story is not my story. I can show you many scriptures in the Bible where it says that I've already been accepted in the beloved. And so therefore, that's where my confidence comes from. My confidence comes from knowing that I'm wanted. Your issue is you're never going to be wanted. Your issue is you've been utterly cast off, rude boy. So you're coming over here trying to make me feel insecure in your insecurity. Really? Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing? No. The answer is no. It's like, Satan, go live your story. That's not my story. I am accepted in the beloved. I am accepted by God. And Jesus is evidence that I've been fully accepted. So much so that he was willing to come as me, die as me, and pay the price for me. Like, he said that I'm of value because he paid the price. The one who pays the price gets to determine the value and if something is worthwhile or not. And Jesus paid, but he didn't pay for Satan. He didn't pay for Satan. So, sorry, Satan. I was feeling a little bit down on myself for a brief moment because I took my mind off the truth. But we're back on the truth now. We're back on the truth. So if anybody's feeling like, as though you're not wanted or feeling rejected or utterly cast off, remember this, like, God's already paid for you. He said he paid for the sins of the entire world. Absolutely everybody. So you don't have to sit there in a state of feel sorry for and no one loves me, no one cares for me. Go pick up your Bible and read it, honestly. And you will discover that God counts you highly valuable.
But yeah, because I didn't actually engage with it, and they discharged me.
In Ephesians 1:6, it says that we have already been made accepted in the beloved. Like, God made us accepted in Jesus. So when the voice comes along and says, you can't do this and you can't do that and you're good for nothing and nothing's ever going to come of your life and da-da-da-da-da, remember that God's the one that's already accepted you. He already said yes way before we took our first breaths, So don't worry about nothing. Trust in him. He keeps us in all of our ways. And Jesus is the evidence of his commitment to us. So even when we're struggling with self-doubt, Take yourself out of it. Take yourself out of the picture. Put your mind back on him. You know, there was like this song that I woke up with the other morning, and it says, I will keep my mind stayed on him, stayed on him. I'll put a little clip here. But it's just true. Like, you know, the enemy's always trying to get us to put our minds back on ourselves and think about me, and where I'm at and how I've missed it. But the only one that's missed it, quote unquote, around here is him. And there's no comeback for him whatsoever. But for us, forgiveness is always there, and Jesus is the evidence of that forgiveness. So today, if you're feeling down, if you're struggling with your self-worth and self-doubt, remember, take your mind off yourself, put it back on him, and remember that he's already made you accepted. You have already been accepted. I mean, no one likes to get that whole open up your email, right? When you've applied for something and you open up your email and then it's like, oh, thank you for your application, but nobody likes to receive that. But this is the thing, you're never going to get that email from God ever. You're never going to open up your email and say, oh, thank you for your application to walk with me and talk with me, but you know, we've gone with a different candidate. Like, that's never going to happen. So no, rest assured that you have been fully accepted in the beloved. And yeah, that will begin to pick you up. It works for me, so I can only offer what works for me, what I know to be true. And while we're here, can we just appreciate the fact that it's October in the UK, and look at this sky. Look at it. Look at it. Just one cloud, 2, 3. Even when I move my head, look, just 3 clouds. 1, 2, 3. 3 clouds in October. Look at this sky. Praise Jesus.
Do you think he has a point though in terms of like censorship, and how hateful accounts? Sponge is fucking. Oh my gosh, the squirrel is sitting next to me.
And considering this is called YouTube, the clue is in the beginning of the tube, right? The U part. You have the freedom to be you and accepted as you. So, yeah, have a good one.